Hello, it's Forex News for Monday, April 26, provided to you by InstaForex News Team and me, Rika Isakova. The global economy recovers more rapidly than forecasted, but the International Monetary Fund expresses cautions that numerous advanced economies can fall behind if they do not solve the persisting problems of financial sector and ease ascending fears about the sovereign debts. This is dwelled upon in the recent IMF report about the outlook for global economy released on Wednesday. The predictions of the IMF concerning the world economy for the current year are becoming more and more optimistic. The IMF improved the focus for the global economic growth to 4.2% from 3.9% mentioned in the forecast for January. But in the following year, the growth is not expected to gain momentum. The IMF estimation for 2011 is left unchanged at the level of 4.3%. A real revival of the economy takes place in the developing countries, where the expand tempo will accelerate to 6.3% this year and to 6.5% next one. In the IMF report for January, the predicted growth equaled to 6% in 2010 and to 6.3% in 2011. In the advanced economies at present, the forecasted increase in 2010 amounts to 2.3%, but not to 2.1% stated previously. However, the focus for 2011 remained unchanged, 2.4%. The global economy recovers faster than expected, though the activity improves differently, modestly in numerous advanced economies, but confidently in most emerging and developing economies, as written in the report. It is anticipated that the gap between developing and advanced economies will only continue extending, and Greek problems warn advanced countries which will keep increasing their debts. The debt rate in the developed economies is forecasted to exceed 100% of the GDP in 2014, judging by the current policy of the authorities. Thus, this ratio will increase by 35 percentage points as compared to the level at the beginning of the crisis. In order to decrease these numbers to the level below 60% of the GDP to 2030, it will be needed to contract the budget by 8 percentage points of the GDP by 2020 and to keep this rate during the next decade. If the advanced economies are risking to face the lack of investors' demand for their debt securities, the largest developing economies, on the contrary, have a problem of how to absorb an increasing inflow of capitals. The disbalances of the current account have started a correction during the crisis. Thus, the U.S. deficit declined in the previous year by 2 percentage points, and the current account deficit in China decreased by 4 points. Nevertheless, the IMF expects the disbalances situation to improve with the uprise of the global trading, cost of financing, and raw material prices. Having mentioned that the quote rate of the Chinese yuan remains considerably undervaluated, the IMF regarded it of vital importance that China would correct its current account deficit by means of the growth of the national currency and limitation of crediting. The rising of the currency rate's flexibility in Asia can lead to corrections in other developing economies, worried by the losses of competitive ability. The IMF has also paid attention to the importance of the USA turn to the remaining problems in fiscal and financial areas, taking into account the system significance of this country on the global markets. In the report is also stated that the US dollar and the euro keep being strong from the viewpoint of mid-term fundamental figures. Follow our next releases and goodbye.